So recently I've been thinking about mindsets and happiness, and it's absolutely shocking to me how many people completely underestimate how valuable your mindset is. And I just wanted to make this video just as a quick little podcast video, whatever you want to call it, just to emphasize how important your mindset is, really, because your mindset is your first step beyond anything. And I've noticed that when it comes to happiness as well, it breaks down into a few things, into 5 things mainly. They're probably more, they're probably less. It really depends on who you are, but for me, these are some of the things that I genuinely think influence your level of happiness. The first is your innermost standards and values. So your morals. What do you believe that you need to follow? A bunch of set rules for your life that you abide by, that you do not cross. There's like moral lines that you just don't cross, and that really can determine your happiness, not in the short term but in the long term. I used this example with my friend earlier who was talking about his happiness. He actually said to me, we were just having a conversation about happiness, and obviously my friend, he doesn't drink alcohol. His friends do. So one day they were in a pub and everyone else was drinking alcohol. He wasn't, because it's against his morals, it's against his code. His own innermost standards and values are that high. He will not drink alcohol no matter what. And someone had paid for his alcohol, and even then he said no. He didn't drink it. He walked away. He said, I'm not drinking, I'm just gonna go home. And he went home. And in that moment, he probably didn't feel super happy, like, oh my god, I've made this super accomplishment. But that pain of his discipline is significantly less than his pain of regret, because if he did break his own moral, his innermost standards and value had dropped, then he wouldn't be happy in the long term. So the reason why I say this is number one is because it's not for the short-term happiness, it's for the long-term happiness, to keep your morals above everything else, to follow your own values, your own system, your own innermost beliefs and your standards to the highest standard you could, like, to such a high standard that you follow them beyond anything, and if anything crosses it, you do not bother crossing your values for it, no matter how big the temptation is, that your will is strong enough to just overcome it in general. That's the first thing. The second thing is people you surround yourself with. Now, this is a massive one. I'm pretty sure we've all heard of the saying that you are the average of the 5 friends you spend the most time with, right? Or something along those lines, at least. And the reason why this is such a big one for me is because it really does shape who you are. If you hang out with people who go out, smoke weed every day, don't have any ambitions, just care about working a dead-end job that they hate, maybe if you're a kid or you're in school or something, that you got unambitious friends, or if you're maybe someone that's overweight, for example, and you spend time with other obese people or really overweight people who have no interest whatsoever in losing weight, and all they care about is eating more, what happens? That dream of yours just goes to hell. It doesn't go to fruition. All of your potential is just wasted because of the people you surrounded yourself with. Your mind is essentially warped around the people you surround yourself with, and it's so valuable. I highly encourage every single person listening to this, if you have I want you to just take a minute, pause this video if you want to, come back to it, or if you want to do it after the video, but get a pen and paper or type it on your phone and just evaluate who are the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I want you to write out the things that are good about them and the things that are bad about them, in a sense, just to say, okay, is this person providing me with value? This is what I want. But before you do that, you should probably write your goals out. Write out your goal. Say, this is what I want. So maybe if you're trying to lose weight, you say, I'm trying to lose 10 kg, 10 pounds, whatever metric you're using. And your goal, that's your goal. And the people you surround yourself with are all a bunch of people that go out every single day and eat a ton of food and do not exercise, have no interest in exercise, and frankly think it looks stupid or whatever, or make some sort of narcissistic, not narcissistic, that's the wrong word, make some sort of negative comment towards people that actually exercise, or people who make fun of other people because they're trying to lose weight. Those kind of people, is that person really like the person you want to spend your time with? Because if you're trying to exercise, they're going to make fun of you. And I mean, I know some of you might not actually like being made fun of, but it's actually kind of a requirement to be successful, in the sense that if your goals are massive, people will laugh at you. People will think you're crazy. They won't accept you for who you are. And the people you surround yourself with, are they helping you get closer to your goals? Are they making you a better human being? Now, I'm not saying that every single one of your friends has to be aligned with your goals, because that's perfectly fine if they're not. But are they good for your mental well-being? Are they encouraging you, or are they putting you off? Are they telling you to pursue your dreams with all your heart, or are they telling you to give up and just follow a mediocre life that's not for you? What are they telling you to do? What is your destiny, and what is the people? What are the people that you spend your time with? Are they aligned with your destiny and your goals and your dreams and the things you want to become? If you're trying to become very wealthy, you're very unlikely to become it spending all of your time around broke people who keep spending all of their money. But you're more likely to have more financial abundance if you keep spending time with people who make a lot of money, the kind of money you want to be making. So say, for example, if your goal is to, maybe you're this someone that's making $30,000 a year, and your goal is to become a six-figure earner within the next 6 months. Is it possible? Of course it is. I've seen one of my friends, he was actually about to quit his entire dreams. He had finished high school, and he had a job working at Amazon, and he literally, and I say this with so much emphasis, he literally, within the space of a couple of months, he flipped his entire life. So he was able to earn 5 figures a month, then 6 figures. Currently he's doing 6 figures a month, which is crazy in revenue, and I'm very blessed to say I'm actually very good friends with him. And if that's your kind of ambition, I'm not saying that's my kind of ambition or whatever, but I'm just saying that if your ambition is to become rich, you need to and to earn 6 figures, for example, then you need to hang out with people who are earning 6 figures. You need to be hanging out with people earning 7 figures, probably even more, because those kind of people are the ones that are going to help you get there. And maybe you're in a position where there are no 6-figure earners that you know of. Even on social media, no one will talk to you. Okay, here's what you do. You start mastering the ability to become alone. Learn to be alone, and learn to love being alone. If every single one of your friends does not provide you with any moral support, any kindness, any sort of backing behind you to make you a better human being and help you achieve the things you want in life, then they're not meant to be there for you. You need to make sure you evaluate every single person that you're with, because they determine your level of happiness. And when you're older and you're 80, 90 years old and you're immobile and you're looking back at your life, you're going to really regret not having cut out those loser friends. And maybe you're in your 30s, maybe you're in your 40s if you're watching this, and maybe things, I don't know how things are for you. Maybe you're young. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you're hanging around with people that aren't bringing you to a higher standard, you're going to fall to their standard, and your standards will be molded around that small consensus. That's the second thing. The first thing, innermost standards and values. The second thing, the people you surround yourself with. The third thing is your level of gratitude. Take a deep breath right now. In through your nose, out through your mouth. See that breath? As you took that breath, someone else took their last. I just want you to remember that, because I want you to think about something you're truly grateful for. And if you cannot think of something that you're grateful for, take a deep breath in and out. And when you do that, you need to remember this, that if you have nothing to be grateful for, be grateful for the fact that you are alive today. You are breathing. You have working organs. Maybe you're not in the best physical health, but you're still alive. You're able to do some amazing things still. There have been so many people that have been handicapped because of disabilities, both mentally and physically, but they've still managed to overcome it. Just remember to reinforce that positivity, and that the fact that you are alive is such a blessing. And you can be grateful for that, because as you take your next breath in, someone else has just taken their last. And to think that you could be in that position, Lord knows when, hopefully in a long time, hopefully in a very long time, hopefully no time soon, but you don't know when your last breath is. And the fact of the matter is that if you are not grateful, you're not going to be happy. And when you are grateful about things, your level of happiness can go from a 0 to a 10 so quickly, it's immeasurable. It's just crazy how happy you feel. You get this sudden rush of just happiness and kindness and love and warmth that you feel because of this gratitude. And I want you to constantly emphasize your level of gratitude every single day. From the minute you wake up until the minute you go to bed, just try to think of something you are grateful for. You don't have to do this 24/7, because obviously you'll have a life to do. You have work to get on with. You have your own personal stuff you need to do. But I'm just saying, take a few minutes a day, whether it's in the morning or before you go to bed, or even just middle of the day. Just take a minute just to think, hey, I'm alive. Hey, I've got parents. Hey, I live in a house. Hey, I've got food. Hey, I've got water. Hey, I've got the ability of, I've got a car. I can drive. Hey, I have a job. Hey, I have freedom. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, I'm doing this, whatever it is. Use that. Fuel your gratitude so much, because the second that you are grateful, and I don't mean that, okay, cool, I guess I'm happy about this. Like if you sound so unenthusiastic, like, hey, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess I'm enthusiastic. I guess I'm like kind of grateful to be alive. I mean, yeah, sure. But you're not gonna be grateful. Whereas if you started saying, hey, you know what? I'm breathing. I'm alive. I'm not dead. I have food. I have water. Oh my God, I have a car. I'm able to get financial abundance. I have books. I have the ability to learn for free, or I am able to afford to pay to learn. That kind of enthusiasm also helps in terms of managing the mindset when it comes to your level of gratitude. And after all, the easiest way to smile, I'm going to try this exercise with you, okay? Now I want you to close your eyes, okay? Are they closed? Now, I want you to just take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to clear your head of all thoughts. Just clear it. If you can't think of anything, just think of a white background. Just a plain white background. That's it. Just a simple white background. And the reason why I say white background is because white backgrounds tend to inflict a lot more positivity than darker colors. So instead of thinking of a navy blue, start thinking of white. Or if that normally works. But anyway, clear your mind. Your eyes are closed. You're taking a deep breath in and out. Just a couple of those breaths. Now, I want you to truly think about something you're grateful for. Just take a minute. It might not come immediately, but just think. Just relax. If you need to, just relax. Just sit down for a minute if you're walking, or if you're driving, then okay, fair enough, you won't be able to do this, but do this afterwards. But just relax, take a minute, and just think, what am I truly grateful for? And I want you to envision it. And I don't want you to just envision it slightly, I want you to envision it so powerfully, and I want you to imagine what your life would be like without it, and how you're taking it for granted right now. Because to be honest, most people alive, we take things for granted. We take our life for granted. We take our parents for granted. We take the fact that we have food for granted. That we have books and education for granted. We take so much for granted. So just take a minute. Just take a minute and just start thinking about what you are truly grateful for. And let me see. And I won't be able to see obviously, but leave a comment down below if you smiled. 9 out of 10 times people will smile, and the 1 out of 10 times that they don't smile is because they're already in a bad mood. And it's twice as hard to actually smile. But I mean, you can change it. I mean, like Tony Robbins says, you can change your entire life by changing your focus. Your entire state of being, your happiness can change in one split second, just like just like that, just by changing what you focus on. That was the third thing, your level of gratitude, and I hope you did smile from this exercise. If you did, drop a comment down below and let everyone else know that you did, or just let everyone know that what you're appreciative of, and then share it as well if you wanted to. So the first thing was innermost standards and values. The second thing was the people you surround yourself with. The third was the level of gratitude. The fourth is the optimistic mindset. Now this is a really difficult one to touch upon, and the reason why I say that is because I know for a fact, because this used to be me, where there are a lot of people that think that if I'm negative, positive happens, if I'm positive, negative happens, and that's just how life is. And the truth is, it isn't. What the truth is, say example, right? Let us say you have decided to start a business. Now the optimistic mindset will say, okay, I believe that I can scale this and do some amazing things. The pessimistic mindset will say, oh, you know, I don't think this is going to work at all. I think, why do I even bother spending my time and energy and resources on this? It's going to fail. Well, if you believe that, then it's going to fail. It's not going to succeed. But if you are optimistic enough and you believe in yourself enough, then you're going to push through and you're going to persevere and you're going to hit it. You're going to achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life. It's just down to optimistic mindset. And there are people that say, oh, you need to be realistic. Now, I don't really believe in realism in the traditional sense. Now, I was reading a book about economics once. It's called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. If you haven't read it, give it a read. It's a really good book in my opinion. And when I was reading it, he said there are different belief systems that different countries tend to have. And the examples he used were the United States, Europe, and Asia. Well, no, China, sorry. He used China. And he broke it down into 4 things. And he made it into his kind of this grid, kind of. It was indefinite optimism, definite optimism, indefinite pessimism, and definite pessimism. Now, definite pessimism is knowing the future will be bad and preparing for a bad future, because there's no way that you can do anything to change it, and you just got to prepare for the worst. The second was now we're working backwards. Sorry, so that's pessimism. That's definite pessimism, is to believe that the future will be bad and you won't actually be able to do anything about it. So you just got to prepare for it. Then there's indefinite pessimism, which is knowing the future will be bad, just not sure how, and not going to be bothered to prepare it or do anything to change it to make it better or worse, whatever. That's indefinite pessimism. Definite optimism is I'll say indefinite first. Indefinite optimism is knowing the future will be good, but not knowing how it will be and not being willing to do anything to make it better. And definite optimism is knowing the future will be good and having a fundamental blueprint as to how it can be good and how you can be a part of making something bigger than yourself and making something that is long lasting and has an impact on other people. Now, people say realism, but I want you to swap that word and I want you to just replace it with practicality in a sense. Does that mean that, say example, if you're maybe you're massively obese, maybe you weigh 120 kilograms and you're trying to get to 60 kilograms or 70 let's say 75 kilograms you're trying to get to. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not trying to put you off here, but let's say you want to lose 45 kilograms in the space of a day. That's not happening. That's just not happening. It's physically impossible, and if you try to do that, you probably end up going to kill yourself doing so. I don't think it's ever been done, frankly. I mean, it might be able to in the future, but as of this current moment, you're not going to be able to do it, especially if you've never exercised before and your diet consists of very fatty foods. It's just not happening. But over time it can. That doesn't mean that it can't happen over time. But if you have an idea about doing something and someone says realistically it can't happen, but you take your time to make it happen, then why can't it happen? Why can't it? Instead of saying why can't I do something, say how can I do something? That's the kind of level of optimism that you need to be aspiring for. You need to be replacing your whys with hows. So instead of saying why can't I build this business? Why can't I scale my income to 6 figures a month? Or 6 figures, or 7 figures a month, whatever your goal is. Or how can I lose this weight? Or whatever your goal is. Instead of saying, why can't I? Just say, how can I? How can I do this? Because your brain will think of different answers. I remember listening to a Tony Robbins podcast on YouTube, and essentially what he said was interesting. He kept on saying that the questions we ask our brain define everything. If you ask your brain a lousy question saying, okay, why can't I lose this weight? Then your brain's going to give you an answer, because you're a pig and you keep eating too much. And that's a lousy answer. But then when you replace your question with, how can I lose this weight? Your brain thinks of different answers. Say, okay, reduce the amount of this food that you're eating and start eating more of this. Start drinking more water. Start exercising at this time. Start fasting a little bit maybe. And then your brain will start thinking of different answers. So try to use this why replacement of how to create an optimistic mindset for yourself, to figure out solutions instead of identifying problems. Now, does that mean you should never identify a problem? Absolutely not, because if you don't identify problems, you can't find solutions. But instead of hunting for the problem and just acknowledging the problem very deeply, acknowledge the problem and figure out a very quick, elegant solution that will make your life a lot better. And I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately. You're probably going to struggle a lot. You're going to struggle a lot if you're aspiring for something amazingly great. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. How can you make it happen? Not why can't you? So the first thing that we talked about, so this is the optimistic mindset, that's the fourth point. The first thing we talked about was innermost standards and values. The second, the people you surround yourself with. The third, the level of gratitude you have. And the fourth, the optimistic mindset. And the fifth and final thing is progress and achievement. Now again, I know I kept on referencing Tony Robbins in this video, but it's because a lot of what he says is nearly everything that he says so far it's true. It's real. It works. And what I remember listening to one of his other podcasts, and he talked about the 6 needs in the human personality, the 6 different characters in the human personality, and one of them, the need was the need for progress and growth. So you want to feel like you're doing something. You want to feel like you progress. Let's say you've been reading a textbook for an hour and you absorb nothing. You are not going to be feeling happy, are you? But let's say, for example, that you actually started writing notes and stuff on this book, whatever you're reading, and you actually learn something and you can recall it. That's progress. You actually feel happier when you learn something. Now, what's the reason people can't learn things? Is it that, oh no, I'm just an idiot, I can't learn anything, sorry, it's just not, this isn't for me, I don't know why I even picked up this book, it's just pointless. No, that's not the reason. The reason is because of ego. And you're thinking, wait, what do you mean my ego? What are you on about? It's not my ego, it's just because I can't take it. No, the reason is because of your ego. The thing is that a lot of people have is that they think that they know it already before they've even opened the chapter. I want you to implore this. This is something that Tom Bilyeu, he implores he emphasizes this very deeply, the beginner's mindset. And I want all of you to implement this into your life. I want you to pretend as if you know nothing and you're willing to learn everything. No, I'm not saying that, oh, okay, I'm not saying you have to act like, oh, I know nothing, I'm so stupid, oh, no, that's not how you should be. What you should be like is, okay, I'm not the best at this topic, or I'm not the best at learning, I don't know, economics, for example. It's the example, you're learning economics, and how do I can improve this, I will improve this. I'm not the best at this, but I can get better, and I will get better. So now, let's learn. And your mindset will be able to take things in more better. It's all about that. And say, example, if you're trying to lift some weight, so you're trying to lose weight, I know I've been emphasizing weight loss quite a lot in this video, but say, example, if you're trying to lose weight, so let's say you've gone to the gym for 2 hours, you've done a lot of exercise, a lot of cardio, you lifted a lot of weights, and you feel great, but then you eat a lot, and then the following day you just go, oh, I feel the same. You don't feel progress. Maybe you feel like short-term progress and achievement after that gym session, but then 20 minutes later you just stuffed your mouth full with a bunch of food that's just brought you back to square one. So you should be able to change the way you do things with a beginner's mindset, and change your approach and your methodology and your strategies, maybe in business as well. And when you achieve something, when you learn something, when you set a goal, you work your face off together, there's that level of happiness that is just unremarkable, because the things that we as humans hold dearest to us are the things we had to work for. It's like if someone were to offer me a new car versus the car I've already got right now, I would pick the car I've already got right now, because I had to work really hard to buy that car. It's not as if someone would give it to me. If someone were to give everything to you on a silver platter, you wouldn't feel like you've earned it. You wouldn't feel like you made progress and achieved it. You wouldn't feel like it was worth anything. You might like it, cool, for a short while, but you won't feel anything from it. Whereas you might feel happy for it. I mean, I don't know, you very well might feel happy about whatever's given to you, but you'll definitely not reach the same level of happiness if you were to actually work really hard for it. If someone were to offer you a weight loss pill and boom, all your problems are solved, cool, you lost weight, but you didn't have the mental discipline, you didn't develop the character, because everyone's thinking that success is what happens at the end, it's the result, but it's not the result. It is the journey, it is the person you become, the morals that you have, the character that you develop, the innermost strength and mental toughness and discipline that you develop as a person. That is what defines you. That is what success is. It's not just the goal. The goal is a part of it, but it's who you become. It's that mental toughness, that grit, that discipline, that resilience to stick it out. That is what progress is. That is what success is, and that is how your achievement levels can go higher, and overall your happiness can go higher. So just to reflect upon everything again, I know I've constantly mentioned everything that we've done so far after every point, but I'll do it one more time. The first thing that we've done is we talked about our innermost standards and values. What are your values? Do you hold them high enough? Do you hold yourself to a high enough standard? And can you follow and abide by your own morals because of the long-term happiness that you will achieve? The second was people you surround yourself with. Your mindset is very well dictated on the few people that you surround yourself with. Maybe not exactly 5, but a good few people, or maybe 1 or 2 people. The people that you hang out with will alter and they will mold your mindset altogether. The third is your level of gratitude. Are you grateful to be alive? Are you grateful for the things that you have in your life? Are you grateful for the water you drink, for the food you eat, for the parents you have, for the people you know, for the car you have, for the ability to have freedom? You're not trapped in a cage in Africa, and you shouldn't need to complain. You need to feel that level of gratitude and express it, and feel that warmth and happiness, and spread that happiness to others. Because if you're happy and you spread it to others, can they feel it? The answer is yes, they can feel it. That's the third thing, level of gratitude. The fourth is having an optimistic mindset, because being a pessimist doesn't get you anywhere. And being practical is important, but being optimistic and having high enough goals is so important towards any part of your happiness, because there's no reason to be negative. Why not think of what good can happen? Why can this good? How do I make this happen? What are the good parts of this? And that also links into gratitude in a way. And the fifth and final point is focus on achievement. You want to be able to work hard and develop a tough grit and character in order to achieve the things that you want in life, and it is part of our personality to want and achieve more. Well, without growth and achievement, we don't feel like we've earned anything, and we don't feel as happy in comparison to if we've actually had to work for something. It's difficult to understand slightly, but when you've wrapped your head around, when you've actually experienced it, when you've experienced what it's like to work hard for something you truly, truly want, and then to finally achieve it, or even make some sort of progress towards the way, you feel so much happier. Your level of happiness grows so much, and it grows so significantly. And this also ties yourself around with having an optimistic mindset and a level of gratitude. because you will become more grateful for the things that you have. You will appreciate things more, and you'll be more optimistic because you've seen the success that you achieved because of optimism. And there's no reason to have pessimism, and then you feel this achievement, and then this achievement becomes so vivid and real that it just grows upon you massively. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this little audio podcast thingy. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like. If you're new around here, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. See ya.